Okay, part E, we're going to look at this equilibrium that exists with a cobalt-2 ion, and as it turns into a cobalt chloride ion. So this system is in equilibrium. So we're going to start off with our control here of a couple of mils of just our aqueous cobalt-2 ion that's surrounded by 6 water molecules. This is a coordinated complex. We're going to talk about this more later this semester. Okay, but this is basically a cobalt-2 ion. So we're going to put that over on the left here as our control. We're going to add a couple mils. Okay, to test tube number 2, and we're going to add 10 drops of deionized water. Let's see what happens here. Ready? Here we go. Change color. So that's test tube number 2 with deionized water. I'm going to stick that right over here next to our test tube. So that was our control. Test tube number 2. Now test tube number 3. Here's our 2 mils of our stock solution, and we're going to add 5 drops of silver nitrate. So here is our, okay, here we go, 5 drops. Whoops, get it in focus. 1, 2, 3. So not only did it change color, we also have some precipitate forming on the bottom of our test tube. You can see it. Okay. Test tube 3. Test tube 4. Adding a couple of mils of our cobalt. And we're going to add 5 drops of 12 molar hydrochloric acid. And again, I'm going to do that in the fume hood. So here's our cobalt stock solution. And we're going to add 5 drops. Here it is. Let me show you our control. Okay, test tube 5. Or that was test tube 4, excuse me. Test tube 5, we're gonna start with a couple of drops. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more. Hopefully it just makes it a little bit easier to see. Now, as you can see here, I have a hot water bath and a cold water bath. And I think this one's a little bit easier to see if we go back and forth between the cold and the hot. So let's do this one. Let's put this on ice. And we're gonna leave this here. We'll see if we can tell any changes, although sometimes it's gradual. And it's hard to see these changes as they slowly cool or slowly heat up. So now it's pretty cold. Let's see if we immediately transfer it to our hot water bath, if we can see a change that occurs. Okay, let me turn this around a little bit. So here's our cold. We're gonna go to hot. Can you see that color change? Okay, so we have this deep color here, and we're going to put it in our ice bath and see if we can observe changes in the color as it cools down. And what we may want to do during this part is kind of fast forward your viewing a bit, and so we can look at the color when it's ice cold and then fast forward to when it was really hot, or vice versa. And I can see a bit of a color change here. We'll see if it comes through on the video or not. Let's take another one of these. We'll do these side by side. Let's add. So here's our control, and we're going to stick it in our water bath. And I think now you can really see a difference between these two. The hot water bath, a much darker color. So here's our hot water bath, and here's our cold bath. So two distinct different colors, okay? Hot and cold. Okay, that's part E.